Among survivors of violence, there's no solid barrier between families of victims and families of perpetrators. That's the reason for a new effort by the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute and its partners to break the cycle of violence. It's called the Intergenerational Justice Program. To tell us about it are the program coordinators from the Peace Institute, Reverend Daley and Alexandra, Chéry. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you, Chris.
I want to start with Reverend, because the way this program is described, you refer to both kinds of parties here, that whether people doing time, whether people who were victims, as loved ones. What's the reason for that?
Well, because you have two families and they both have, stigmas whenever violence happens. So when you look at both of them as loved ones, you know that this person, even though they're convicted of murder, they have a family. And on the other side, the same thing with the victim, that they're coming from a family. So it's really treating them with dignity and respect, even within a very horrific and situation that can really tear apart a family. So it's really just presenting them in a way of human, human dignity.
Alexandra, talk about the goals of this program, because your mother has gone the whole spectrum here, because eventually, she's a survivor, you're a survivor because you lost your brother. And the goal is reconciliation, but getting there. Your mother did it. What was that like?
Well, the three main goals are healing, accountability, and reconciliation. I recognize that we are one very specific situation, and that there are families who will never get there. There are families who will never be there. And really what restorative justice is both families making that commitment internally to do that work, so that when someone does come out of prison, everyone can live in peace.
Reverend, the one thing that's offered to both families, and is probably the first thing you want to make mention of, is a safe space.
Yes.
What does that mean, and why is it important?
Well, it's a safe space to what we call leadership academies, where families are, they're not judged because of whatever happened, but it's a safe place where they can share. And if they're not there, as Alexandra said, then it's to help them get to a space of comfort, of trust, because, systems don't really, work with all families. So it's creating that safe space for them so they can grow, they could be able to learn and get in touch with whatever they're feeling at that moment.
We're talking with Reverend Daley and Alexandra, Chéry from the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. Alexandra, talk about how the feelings of shame can make it difficult for families to get the services they need.
Yeah, so when you are stigmatized by culture, by society, by system, it makes it hard for you to ask for what you need or to even identify what you may need. So really at the Peace Institute, our role is to, through the leadership academies, introduce folks to people in those different systems that they now have to interact with, and then really not empower, I don't really like that word empower, but give them the tools and resources again to ask for what it is that they need.
And it's interesting because both survivors of they have some of the family who's been victimized, they might feel shame too, because, and what about the services that they need? That they usually don't ask for? What kind of things are we talking about?
Survivors?
Yes.
Survivors have all kinds of unique needs. Some folks are saying that, maybe one day I want to have a victim-offender dialogue, but there's a system there that doesn't support that. So we're really here to hear whatever it is that you're saying you want to do or that you need to do for your family. And there are even different needs within a family, where there will be one family member who is all about this, holding this person accountable. And then there will be another family member who will say, I don't want anything to do with that. So it's really being able to hold the space for an entire family. And we do that so well with our partners, Visions Inc. and Span Inc. Visions works closely within families to talk about what are the feelings that are coming up, what are the different dynamics within your family. For survivors, do you want to oppose his parole? Do you want to grant his parole? And then for families of incarcerated people, are we ready to receive him?
Reverend, what about that? Because practically everybody who's incarcerated is going to come back out at some time, and I guess you need to make that work in the best way possible.
No, absolutely. It depends upon how long this person has been away, because then the family now has to get to know this person again. And then this person who was jailed, now they have other traumas that probably went unaddressed that led them into this situation. And then while they're inside, is really this, their mind is incarcerated because they're told when to get up, when to eat, there's this a structure they have. So now it's helping that family to create that safe environment where that person can now become independent rather be dependent upon, someone to take care of them.
You've worked before with people who are incarcerated, some of them very serious things going on. And how does it feel now that you can work with the families?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, just to hold a family, up in a time of their need. And like Alexandra said it so wonderfully, just about the needs of the survivors, but it can go deeper as well as the child care. If the person was the breadwinner at one time, and it's the children, if they had children before they went in, so it's really helping them to navigate, because you don't know what to ask for. That shame and dignity just blocks you from asking for what you need. And we don't tell them what they need. We find out, what do you need and how can we help you to get that need.
Another thing that goes into the trajectory here is not just reconciliation and healing, but accountability. How do you help families get that? Because I'm sure that we all can imagine feeling a need for that.
Yeah. So it's if you are the family who is receiving someone coming out of prison, what's your plan? What's your plan to support him? We hear from him what his plan is, and then we sit with family and we ask them what their plan is. And how are you going to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to keep him, in line? And then also for families of survivors, what do you need? What do you feel like would put you back in control of this entire process? And, some families will say, I want to offer this as a condition of his parole or his probation. So then, okay, we can add that. So really letting families do exactly what they say they want to do and what they need to do to be able to hold this person accountable.
Reverend, the bigger picture here is what this means with the cycle of violence. How do you see this working out?
Well, I see again, Dr. Chéry and her family just have this model and just created this model for two families to really, not kumbaya, because again, everybody's at different places, but you get people that chance to really grow and really get in touch with how they're feeling and get to the point where we just want a safe environment. We don't want any retaliation. We just want a safe environment for both families. And it's seeing both families at that critical point where they could even reach out to the friends, because we also know that whatever a mother bears, the children, everybody could really hold their mother up, but it's really getting to the friends as well. And this created that model where we hold everybody accountable, from the family to the friends. And it just creates a safe environment for everyone.
Alexandra, if people would like to get some help or at least some information, is there a way they can get in touch with each of you?
Yes, they can call us at 617-825-1917. And our different extensions, I'm at 104 and Reverend Daley's at 105.
Thank you both very much, Alexandra Chéry and Reverend Wayne Daley from the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute.
Thank you, Chris.
We'll have more news in just a moment.